Hello everybody and welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm the INSANEBRIT and this is this week's News Friday where I talk about all the week's gaming news, gaming topics. My apologies for this video coming out quite late. I was busy on Friday so I didn't have a chance to record, and my video also came out late as well. But don't worry, Tomb Raider finishes next week and we'll be starting a brand new playthrough. So this week's major controversial news in Microtransactions makes a return, and in a big way. But before we get to that, we'll go run down the actual company, Konami, who are doing this, and that is Metal Gear Survive. The game basically centers around the mother base being wiped out, and you're deported to another dimension as part of a team to help find a power source to help power the world over, you know, our world as it were. Cars, electricity, you know, an unlimited source of power, and you basically have to find these generators and defend them for 4 minutes at a time against these crystal zombies, whatever, which in my opinion don't look very scary in the slightest. If that's what they're supposed to be, I don't know. You do this by going around collecting nails and pieces of metal in the actual game in this other dimension, and you can import fences to help you out, essentially blocking off these zombies and then killing them from behind the fences, and you repeat this process over and over again. Of course, you will also do this online. It's a repeat process online, just you'll have 3 friends with you, which may be a little bit funner, obviously. One of the things about the game in particular, there is how do I put this? You have to keep eating and drinking, or your screen goes blurry. Now, while this will be a good effect, we've seen it in other games when you get injured and you know you're near the end of death. This is a continuous thing where every 4 or 5 minutes you have to continuously eat. It's not once every half hour or an hour. You literally have to do it every 4 or 5 minutes, and it's an absolute joke in my opinion. That pissed me the hell off. Not only that, the microtransactions are online as well, of course, to make your character more powerful, which you know is going to be always going to have essentially that's always going to be there in today's day and age. That's just unfortunate. That's the way the culture has now shifted and changed, but it goes to its extremes. And then in that respect, it is now you're paying. But the big controversial in particular is that Konami are now charging £10. Well, it's $10. Call it 7 or 8. It doesn't matter. In your respective country, it's going to be a little bit lower or less, or even more, depending on where you are. Just say $10 overall for another save file. So you're only able to create 1 character. If you look at the likes of Monster Hunter, or Skyrim, where you can have multiple characters, if you want to have a male or female, or go a different route, you now can only have 1 character per in a save file. So essentially, on my main account, PSN account, I can have 1 character and then have to run with that, whatever it may be. If I want to play with another save file, I have to pay the $10 for another save file, which is absolutely fucking crazy. And then, but if I don't want to do that, I have to switch to another PSN name, which seems like a lot of hassle. And even then, because it's always an online game, I would have to pay for PSN on that account as well. So essentially, I'm making a new name, which you might already have, and that's fine, but then you have to have PSN on for that as well. So you still end up paying for something or other, even if you switch files. You can still, of course, borrow it to a friend if you want to. You know, I think, Jesus Christ, that's about all you can do, essentially. But that's only on console. If you're a Steam player, then you're not going to be able to do that. But I think you pretty much know that if you're a Steam player anyway, and are planning to play it on PC. But my God, this... I don't really like to pick on groups of people. I mean, I have, or I can, but I don't usually do it. I really don't. But in this instance, I'm going to go for big groups, and I'm going to say I would like to thank you, everyone who bought FIFA Ultimate Team, everyone who bought a Call of Duty map pack, everybody who bought microtransactions in every other game. Thank you, because this is where we are at now. This is where we are at, because of the so-called casuals of gaming, I believe. There are some hardcore gamers that do it as well, but essentially this is where we're at now. The last game I played that was online only was SOCOM Confrontation. I paid £15 for the game, got years of pleasure out of that game. It was an amazing game, it was a great game, and I only paid for 1 map pack. You know, I think the standard was years ago, we could pay for a map pack, and that's fine. That, you know, we want more of the game, that's not a problem. But these microtransactions are getting more insane, and it seems like they're trying to one-up each other. If we haven't got Call of Duty shoving the next map pack down our throat, telling us it's available, if we haven't got FIFA Ultimate Team trying to tell us to buy more coins, and you know, Shadow of Mordor did the microtransaction thing as well. This is the next step, and this is insane. And as gamers, as a gamer, I do not support this in any way, shape, or form. Of course, I think it's outrageous. I think it's disgusting. I think it's the next step. It's a wrong step. It's a terrible step, and I will not be supporting it. Having said that, I know I could go more into the blame game and everything, and you can't do that, and you can do that, because we're all guilty of buying microtransactions for the game we love. And if you pick and choose your microtransactions which you choose to pay for, that's fine, but it's still hindering us anyway. It is, regardless if I do it once for one game, you do it for once for a game. They know there's a market for it, and it is what it is, and we're all collectively to blame for it. I hate to say that, but I don't know what to say about Konami. I mean, the company, if people weren't mad at them already for the likes of what they did to Kojima and Metal Gear and the series in itself, though they say this is a spin-off game and it has nothing to do with the main story, that's fine, but you still did some really shitty practices, and as gamers I don't think we can accept it. So I'm hoping to God that the younger generation with more money, even they have more money recently than my generation did, like I would trade games in, I would you know, borrow friends' games and stuff, and you're getting less and less of that. Xbox tried to change it where you download games more than actually when you actually buy the physical copy. They're trying to change the culture, and essentially with the younger generation coming through, they're understanding that they've got more money, and they're less inclined to accept what we had back in the day, where we had a full and complete game, you know, and then maybe in the PS3 days we've got patches for this. Now we've got microtransactions, and the younger generation are just accepting this, and they're like, well, I haven't got, and some people haven't got time, and they're like, oh, I'll just buy the unlockables, I'd buy them straight away, so I don't have to sit here for hours and hours doing it. If that's an option, then that's an option. But it's just gone beyond the joke now at this particular point in time. I hope other developers don't do this. I hope they shut it down and like, no, we're not going to follow this practice. This is insane. Now I'm a Metal Gear Solid fan. I am. You see me play. I've played every single Metal Gear, except the first one. I think it was on older console or PC or something like that. I can't remember. But I never played the first one. But I'm a huge fan of it. And I don't want to pick up this game. But I know there's some of you that will, and, you know, I think the most interesting part, apparently, I've been told is the so-called story, but I haven't said that based on what I told you in the beginning of this video, but it's basically horde mode. That does not sound very interesting. I don't care about the story if I'm going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. But if you are tempted to pick up this game, if you are tempted to buy it, please do not buy any of the microtransactions. Or if you do, can you please buy the game pre-owned? And I say that because that way, if you go to CX, you go to game and you buy it pre-owned, it's £25 brand new. I'm not on about the pricing of the game in terms of, oh, it's expensive, because it's not. 25 is cheap, but at the same time, when they're charging you $10 or whatever for the other save file, that's bullshit. If you want to do that, you can, obviously, but at the same time, it's frustrating yourself. So I'm going to recommend you buy this game pre-owned. Buy it pre-owned, and then they don't get any of the profits. It goes straight to game. It goes straight to CX. Buy it pre-owned. Fuck them. Punish them, make sure that they don't get the money, because these practices is complete bullshit. So I understand people are going to buy the game, and that's just a given, you know. But if I do end up picking it up, and I really am tempted to say fuck that, I don't want to, and I probably won't, like I haven't picked up Destiny, like I haven't picked up Battlefield, I mean Star Wars Battlefront, whatever it is, you know what I mean. I will not, you know, I will not be giving them the money. I will be giving it to CX. I would rather do that, pick it up for £10 or something, you know what I mean? Just so they don't get it on principle. Just as a way of punishing them. That's my take on that particular story anyway. I don't know how you guys feel about it. But like I said, as a collective of gaming community, this is where we're at now. The next story, Battlefield 2018 will be playable at E3 Plays, essentially around the same time as E3. They have their own show called EA Play, where you get to play the next Madden. You'll see more of Anthem and Battlefield 2018, which apparently I did hear a rumor that it was based on some era. I can't remember what era that was. I know it went World War II. I don't believe it was. I think they've gone a different route, but I think maybe modern. But I don't know that for sure at this point. I can't clarify that. Maybe I said something in my previous videos, but I can't think back. My next story is, now I'm not too sure if I played this one, Burnout Paradise. I loved playing Burnout, I thought it was great, but I don't know if I played Paradise. Apparently it's getting a PS4 remastered version in March. I don't know how much this is going to cost, but it's going to include all the DLC, at least I believe. Burnout Paradise, the base game, is going to include the Big Surf Island, Party Pack, Burnout Bikes, Boost Special, Legendary Cars, Cage in the Update, Toys, whatever the hell Toys is, I don't know, and Cops and Robbers Pack. So basically that's all coming to the PS4 in March. If you're a big fan of Burnout Paradise, I'm not too sure if it's the... Is it the one I picked up? I played it on the original Xbox, and I used to put my own custom music in there, and it was really, really fun. I did enjoy it. It's about the only racing game I really played, and to be honest with you, to be fair, it wasn't really a racing game. Well, it is and it isn't, and compared to the likes of, you know, Gran Turismo, it's not like on that kind of level, you know, because that is a stunning game. I don't deny that. I just simply don't play it because I'm not a fan of racing games like that. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be picking that up. But we'll see. I've got a couple of other stories, including the Last of Us movie coming up, and Call of Duty news as well. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, our next story relates to Grand Theft Auto, and it has been announced on the German website that there's a premium edition coming to the PlayStation 4. And there's a speculation of what this premium edition might include, and of course, they're stating in the comment section that it could be unannounced DLC being released in the story terms of Grand Theft Auto, which previously Rockstar have essentially said that it wasn't needed and unnecessary. So I don't know if that's going to be the case in itself. There's also been speculation that it could be a Switch version as well. But also, I think the most logical thing that it might be is actually an edition where you get all the online DLC that's been free over the past so many months and years. It might all come into one complete package, and it might even give you bonus money and shark cards and stuff like that. But that's just speculation at this point. But I'm trying to think what would be included, and I can only think that that would be a unique, compact, final edition package to round off the actual game, give it to the Switch. And then anyone who wants to buy Grand Theft Auto, because it is still selling, give them that premium package, give them everything, and that would be really, really cool, because some people have got everything from day one on their account, other people are just starting out and they've missed out on a lot of great content. So that is what I'm thinking it essentially is going to be, and you know, I don't blame them for it. I'm not disappointed at it. It's just one more package coming out. Whether you choose to buy it or not is a different story. On the side of movie sides, we know we've got an Uncharted movie coming out from Naughty Dog. However, the director, speaking about The Last of Us, the creative director Neil Druckmann, sorry. I was calling Drunk Man. The Last of Us, since the project was announced, has talked about The Last of Us, which we've wanted as a movie adaptation all along. And of course, originally he actually states that he wanted a direct adaptation of the movie of The Last of Us. And of course, I would love to see that. Love to see who plays Joel, Ellie, and I don't care. I would watch it. It wouldn't bother me in one way or the other. I would really enjoy the film adaptation to see what it is as a hardcore fan base. Of course, as time has gone on, he has essentially said he's moved away from that script and feels he's already told that story. And if there was a film adaptation of The Last of Us, he would want it to be different. So another element, maybe a long time, very much before that, I don't know, or maybe already jumping in the middle of that world, I don't know, or that universe. So he wouldn't want it to be a direct adaptation of the game, which kind of disappoints me, and you'd wonder where it would go with that, based on the fact there's already a hardcore fan base being very skeptical, and only because we want to love the movie, and you know what I mean, and see what it brings. Just when it comes to life via real people, and we'll be judging it every step of the way. So if you kind of move away from that, you do risk some disappointment. Having said that, I would still go and see the film regardless anyway, because I'd be very, very much interested in that. Whether something happens or not, I don't know. There's no indication if that's already in the move, or like it's been moving. Like we do have the Uncharted movie coming up with a young Tom Holland playing young Nathan Drake, which will be interesting, because there is that could be the build-up of a story, and then we push on to the later years. That's fine. But when it comes to The Last of Us, it's already well established. There's only been one game. We've got a second game coming out, which I will be playing on my channel. Do not worry, The Last of Us and Last of Us 2 will be getting played by me on this channel at some point. I just haven't got around to it. I've had a lot of backlog games and stuff like that. And finally, we have one more piece of news regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So give me a second, guys, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, this is basically just a rumor at this point. I speculated it that being essentially Modern Warfare 2 would come out, would be the next HD game up, being made to go with this next Call of Duty this year, 2018, which I would love to suspect and say it's going to happen, but we don't know for sure. And then the next year, 2019, could be the HD version of the other one. I think that was what, Modern Warfare 3, I believe, and then possibly in the next year, 2000, I think that'd be 2020, they might have a Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 pack. I don't know. That's what I'm suspecting at this point in time. This is just speculation at this point, but I wouldn't be complaining if this happened, because we get double the amount of games. Well, we have another game to play in Call of Duty, and like I said, the actual game in itself in Modern Warfare 1, in many aspects, actually outshone the original game that it actually came with. So whatever game came with this year's Call of Duty, the actual older one actually was more beneficial in many ways. And of course, it was so beneficial to a point that they had to actually release a standalone where you could actually buy the game by itself. And a lot of people actually returned their games and just bought the old one. So that goes to speak for itself about the Modern Warfare series in itself. I wasn't a big fan of the Modern Warfare 3, the online. I thought that was a bit shitty. I thought the maps were crappy compared to 1 and 2. But even myself found myself playing online Modern Warfare 1 more than I did the actual base game that it actually came with. Not to say that the story was bad or anything, I just simply didn't enjoy the online, the futuristic stuff or whatever. Having said that, I'm going to be enjoying the next Call of Duty, which is World War 2. I haven't played that one yet either. I'll be jumping on that in the next few weeks, months, I don't know, depending on how much I break all the games up and stuff like that. I just did play Battlefield 1 recently, so I didn't want to jump from World War to World War 1 or 2, whatever, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyway, guys, I don't think there's no food review today. It is what it is. Everything got done late and everything. Hopefully I have one next week, though. So I hope you guys enjoyed my playthrough of Tomb Raider. That will finish next week, and then we'll be starting a brand new playthrough in NAC. I will also come up with a random vlog where I'm talking about the channel and stuff like that, and how it's progressing, and my thoughts and feelings about what's going on, X, Y, and Z with the channel, maybe, I don't know. I'll come up with something just to talk about, a rambling series where I talk about various things, I don't know. So that might be next week at some point, instead of a News Friday, I don't know. You know, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all links are in the description below. If you want to donate to my channel, get a shout out. That is also a possibility, or for your YouTube channel or business or whatever it may be, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.